WTVM News in HD, sponsored by Montlick & Associates, helping Columbus families since 1984.
Now, in high definition, coverage you can count on. This is WTVM News Leader 9.
5 hurt, 1 hanging on to life following a shooting at a local nightclub. We're live with the investigation and a shooting at another club in the same area.
Plus, officials say it's some of the most disturbing crimes they've ever seen.
We're live in East Alabama on a child sex abuse trial with the victim's reaction as the suspect calls them liars in court.
And temperatures are surging out there across the area today, mostly 80s on the map. We'll tell you how long the warm air will stick around.
Good evening. Welcome to News Leader 9 at 5. I'm Barbara Gauthier.
And I'm Jason Dennis. Thanks for joining us tonight. Topping our news, the smell of marijuana led to an arrest of a Russell County high school student today after authorities say they found drugs and a gun in that student's car. News
Leader 9's Annie Hubble is live now at Russell County High School with the very latest. So, Annie, what do we know at this time?
Well, that's right, Barbara and Jason. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor called a press conference this afternoon. He told us that teachers became suspicious when he smelled marijuana on multiple students. Now, authorities were then called, and after searching the vehicle of one of the students, they found and seized 10 dime-sized bags of what they presumed to be marijuana and a 9mm pistol. Now, that student, who is a juvenile, was taken into custody. Superintendent William Green says the student is still now considered a student at Russell County High School, but their status may change as the investigation continues. Now, Sheriff Taylor says he commends the school and the staff for how they handled the situation. He said it's a good day for Russell County. Now, coming up on the news at 6, we will have more, and we will tell you what charges this student is facing. For now, live in Russell County, Annie Hubble, WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, Annie, thank you so much. Another big story tonight. Investigators piecing together 2 early morning shootings at local nightclubs in Columbus that sent several victims to the hospital.
Bullets flew at the Foxy Lady Lounge at 1:30 this morning on Victory Drive. Then around 2:45, there were shots fired at the Gold Gentleman's Club on the 3600 block of the same street. News Leader 9's Emily Arroyo joins us live from the Foxy Lady, where 5 people were shot overnight. So, Emily, what's happening there tonight?
Jason, crime scene experts wrapped up their on-location analysis earlier this afternoon, but the area was swarming with police this morning, a scene that's not a first for the Foxy Lady.
Shots rang out on Victory Drive in Columbus at around 1:30 Tuesday morning as 5 people were injured at the Foxy Lady. All were transported to Midtown Medical Center. 1 person sustained life-threatening injuries, and at least 1 was released from medical care. Almost an hour later, detectives were called to the Gold Club just down the road when gunfire broke out there as well. There were apparently no injuries in that shooting. But this morning's violent crime outbreak brings the area's criminal activity to light once again, prompting city leaders to consider taking a closer look at the businesses involved.
We actually have investigated Foxy Lady before for purposes of whether they constitute a criminal haven. We were not able, at that time, we didn't feel comfortable going forward. It will be reopened.
2 people were shot at the Foxy Lady in March 2013, resulting in the death of 20-year-old Shannon Fields Jr. Then in December of the same year, a woman was the victim of an alleged armed robbery nearby.
If this event shows to be a result of some sort of reckless management practice, then of course we'd open it again. If there's other businesses that are involved in some sort of shooting because they maintain a dangerous or reckless environment, then the same review would be given to them as well.
City leaders have sat down in the past with managers of the Foxy Lady to crack down on crime and say they got a positive response. But Tuesday morning's shootings could indicate there's still a problem.
We welcome all businesses to come and have a prosperous future in Columbus, Georgia, but you cannot conduct business in a dangerous or unlawful way, and you cannot profit from a crime haven.
Right now, both shootings at the Columbus clubs remain under investigation, and no arrests have been made as of yet. Back to you.
And Emily, these shootings happening so close together, are authorities saying that they're related at this time?
Well, Barbara, officials are not confirming that they are related at the moment, but police do urge you to contact them if you have any information. That number is 706-653-3400. Reporting live in Columbus, Emily Arroyo, News Leader 9.
Well, the weather today, as you know, if you've been outside, quite warm, a little warmer than expected thanks to more sunshine than expected today, but I don't think we've got a lot of complaints out there. 81 the high in Columbus, 87 down in Eufaula today, 84 at Fort Benning, and 82 in Albany. So a very nice day. It's still nice right now. 81 in the Fountain City, Reynolds 81, 84 down in Eufaula and Union Springs at 82 degrees. Just about everybody up into the 80s at this hour. Now, we're watching the radar too. No showers nearby at the moment, but off to our west, watching some heavier rain and a few storms as well, mainly west of Interstate 65 in Alabama. That's where we expect most of the rain to stay through the nighttime hours tonight. We'll forecast dry weather once again. Skies cloudy to mostly cloudy, and check out those very nice temperatures for the rest of this evening. But we'll talk about some lower temperatures in the forecast and also the better rain chances too coming up, guys.
All right, thanks, Derek. Happening now in East Alabama, we're awaiting a verdict in a child sex abuse trial. Sheriff's investigators say the defendant, Mark Poole, is responsible for committing some of the most disturbing crimes that they've ever seen. He's accused of first-degree sodomy and sex abuse of 2 young victims at his home in Smith Station. The victims, who are now 15 and 20 years old, testified in graphic detail how Poole sexually abused them for several years, starting at 5 years old. Poole denied the charges and called the victims liars in front of the jury. He was the only person who testified in his defense. A jury is expected to begin deliberations soon, and News Leader 9's Elizabeth White is in court and will bring us the verdict as soon as it is handed down. Columbus's public transportation system is about to get a major upgrade.
The multi-million-dollar project was discussed at City Council today. We're told Metro had a tremendous amount of volume last year to the tune of millions of rides. And News Leader 9's Rosalind Giles joins us now in studio with much more on this story. Rosalind?
That's right, Barbara. And of course, this money is coming from the T-Splosh passed back in November. 23 Metro buses roll out every day in Columbus. Marie Wright hops a ride 6 days a week.
I would like for them to run later, and I would love to see them run on Sunday, because just because it's Sunday doesn't mean people don't have places to go.
We heard that complaint from almost every Metro customer we spoke to Tuesday afternoon.
The people that go to work at 3 o'clock and get off at 11, they can't catch the bus home. If they catch the bus to work, they got to get another way to come home.
Time is also an issue getting to and from a destination. We're told on average it takes about 40 minutes to get to a destination and then about an hour and 20 minutes to get back home on that same route.
Now for the next 8 to 10 years, we have the opportunity again to improve our transit system in this community.
Planning Director Rick Jones told city councilors other Georgia communities are envious of Columbus because it now has $22 million to enhance its transit system. Consultants hired by the city to do a complete assessment on Metro's needs outlined the plan, including the need for additional routes and later run times. So Marie and Tommy just may get their wish. And of course, again, that money coming from the T-Splosh passed back in November. Now, the mayor says there was no change for requests today. She says the proposal will likely go before council again for approval in about a month or two, guys.
All right, Rosalind, thank you. Well, tonight is the 11th and final forum for the community to come out and see where the education SPLOST funds will go, as well as see how the tax will affect you. Earlier today, Muskogee County School District Superintendent Dr. David Lewis joined the young professionals of Columbus to answer any questions residents had. We're now exactly 1 week away from the official voting day on the special purpose local option sales tax referendum. Dr. Lewis and the group also discussed both the support and opposition for the projects and why it's important to the young professionals.
Young professionals will be affected by this SPLOST because it's taxing everybody in the community. And too many of our young professionals are also parents, so this is important to them if they have their children in local education.
I hope it to be an engaging conversation and be able to answer any questions people have related to the SPLOST and the projects that are on the list.
Nearly 3,700 people have participated in early voting, which ends this Friday. Tonight's final public meeting is at 6 o'clock at the Columbus Public Library on Macon Road, and check under the locals tab of WTVM.com for our complete coverage.
Coming up, could medical marijuana be made legal nationwide? Ahead on the news at 5, we'll tell you about a new bipartisan bill to do just that.
And many of us can agree that donuts are delicious, but one ingredient for one company's specialty is being eliminated. We'll explain why Dunkin' Donuts is making the move.
And coming up tomorrow, Weather Radio Wednesday comes back to America, so I hope you can join us there at the Walgreens location off East Forsyth Street, 10 to 2 Eastern Time. We'll be out there with weather radios for sale, and we'll be programming yours as well, so come on by and see us. And after the break, we'll be talking weather for the next 7 days. Some big changes on the way. Details when we come back.
Weather coverage you can count on from Storm Team 9 and the area's only live Doppler 9.
Well, those temperatures, one of the big weather stories out there today. Those numbers back up in the 80s in many spots right now. 83 in LaGrange, Thomaston 81, Columbus also at 81, and the hot spots down to the south, Eufaula 84, and Albany at 82 degrees. So a very pleasant afternoon. And as we move you through the next 24 hours, here's how those numbers look for us. Tonight, we're going to get back down into the 60s for lows. We should stay in the upper 50s and low 60s this evening. Skies mostly cloudy, so a very mild night ahead. No real need for the jacket, we think, early tomorrow morning. And then by the afternoon hours, another big warm up, and I think we're going to top out somewhere in the low 80s by tomorrow afternoon as well. So a warm Wednesday on the way for us too. Now, we've been watching the radar network out there today. We've seen some showers at times off to our north and west. Around here in the valley, not a whole lot happening. Most spots dry. We're going to still hang on to a small risk of a shower later on this evening, but much heavier rain coming through places like Birmingham and Tuscaloosa right now. Those showers should stay off to our north and west. They're not really going to make a lot of progress down to the south and down to the east. But as we look at your big picture view, we still find there's plenty of moisture out there. Notice how wet the weather turns back off to the west. And this has kind of been the story for the last couple of days. It will continue to be the story for the next couple of days as we're kind of stuck in this same weather pattern, watching the winds coming in out of the south and west like this, bringing in plenty of moisture into the area. But I think finally later this week, Thursday and Friday, this axis of heavier rain will shift in our direction. So we'll bring in the better rain chances still on Thursday and Friday. So here's your futurecast view through tonight and tomorrow. No big weather problems for us. The skies stay cloudy for us early Wednesday. You'll notice in the afternoon past the lunch hour, a little better coverage maybe of a few showers popping up out there, maybe a thunderstorm mixed in there as well. And then for Thursday, we think a much better chance of rain coming late in the day. Notice the clouds sticking with us through the afternoon and through the evening, but you'll see back off to our west those better rain chances starting to kick in later during the day on Thursday. Tonight, looking at skies mostly cloudy. We'll hang on to a 20% rain chance in there. Lows in the upper 50s and low 60s. Lafayette at 60. In Columbus, we're going to go with a low at 61. 57 for Ellaville. Pittsview 59. And more low 60s for some spots on down to our south. Again, with a mostly cloudy sky tonight. Another warm one coming our way tomorrow. Highs will top out in the upper 70s and low 80s in the afternoon hours. We'll bring back the rain chance in the afternoon and evening tomorrow too. 81 for Columbus. 80 in Buena Vista. And down to our south, maybe even a few spots in the mid 80s. 80s by tomorrow afternoon. So all in all, a very warm Wednesday coming our way. Our average high tomorrow, by the way, 68, so we should be well above that. Now, our rain chances go high once again Thursday and Friday. The good news for the weekend, we'll see the rain chances tapering off, going from 30% Saturday to near nothing on Sunday. But one part of bad news with the rain chances, because they're going to stay low out there on Wednesday, we're going to have a high pollen count still coming our way tomorrow. So if you're suffering from those allergies out there, one rough day coming tomorrow, and then we'll knock the pollen count back down to the medium range as we go Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday too. So I hope you do have a chance to enjoy the weekend. Looks like Sunday, the drier of the 2 weekend days. If you have any outdoor plans early next week, perhaps starting off on a dry note as well, guys.
But certainly enjoying these warmer temperatures today, and tomorrow looking great too.
Nice surge of sunshine today. Had the low 80s out there this afternoon.
I was actually sweating.
Yeah, a little warm out there.
I got to make sure to put the umbrella back in my car, though.
Yeah, keep it in there, though.
All right, thanks,
All
Derek.
right.
Well, coming up, more fallout from a video showing members of an Oklahoma University fraternity chanting racist remarks. Stay tuned for the new developments on punishment.
And potential 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton breaks her silence about a controversy surrounding her personal emails when she was Secretary of State. Hear her defense.
You're watching News Leader 9 with Barbara Gauthier, Jason Dennis, and meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
Welcome back. Hillary Clinton said today she did not break any laws when she used a private email account during her tenure at the State Department.
Critics say Clinton violated department and potentially federal rules by not using an official email account, though. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has more.
Hillary Clinton finally addressing the email controversy, responding to the revelation that while she was Secretary of State, she used a private email address for all of her government business, and that account was run from a personal email server at her home.
When I got there, I wanted to just use one device for both personal and work emails instead of two. It was allowed, it was for convenience, and it was my practice to communicate with State Department and other government officials on their .gov accounts. So those emails would be automatically saved.
Clinton also admitting she deleted her personal emails.
Planning Chelsea's wedding or my mother's funeral arrangements.
She did not put this to rest. I think this has just actually exacerbated the process.
So Clinton has now turned over 55,000 pages of emails to the State Department. Only what she and her team have deemed public business will be released, and that could take months.
The release will be posted on a publicly available website.
Some now speculating this controversy could hurt Clinton's chances of a potential presidential run.
the idea that she needed special rules for her own email, that she never really came up with a full explanation for why she did it, those confirm some of the worst suspicions people, including Democrats, have about Hillary Clinton and the Clintons more generally.
And at the news conference here, Clinton avoided talking about the impact this could have on a potential run for the White House, as some question why she waited more than a week to address this email issue. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Other news tonight, members of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity at the University of Oklahoma have until midnight tonight to move out of their old fraternity house. The school severed all ties with the fraternity after a video of frat members singing a racist song was posted online this past Sunday. And today, the university expelled 2 students involved in this video. Reaction to the video from several student groups is still pouring in.
This is something that's been rehearsed. This is something that is well known. Everybody on that bus was singing this chant proudly and confidently.
The spokesman for the national chapter says reports that the song is part of an SAE tradition are, quote, completely false. Also, there are people who believe closing down an entire house based on the actions of a few freshmen seems like an overreaction, including the fraternity's African-American cook, who's now out of a job he's had for 14 years.
Well, 3 senators unveil a bill today that could end the federal ban on medical marijuana. Republican Rand Paul and Democrats Cory Booker and Kirsten Gillibrand are sponsoring the bill. The Washington Post reports the bill would make it easier to transport some marijuana between states, as well as broaden access to cannabis for research purposes. Currently, medical marijuana is legal in 23 states and the District of Columbia.
Turning to international news, a jaw-dropping discovery in the UK. Archaeologists in London discovered 3,000 skeletons buried in the path of a London train line. They found those skeletons last week, and most of their remains were buried in the 16th and 17th centuries. The bones will be tested before being reburied at a London cemetery. Scientists hope to learn more about how Londoners lived hundreds of years ago, as well as the bubonic plague that killed many of them back then.
Coming up when we come right back, President Obama in Georgia today talking about education. We'll have that story and much more straight ahead.
And coming up for you on the news at 5:30, we'll talk your 7-day forecast. We're in store for some changes later this week, but some drier weather by the weekend and early next week. Details coming up in our next half hour.
Making college affordable and helping all Americans invest in their education. That's the aim of the Student Aid Bill of Rights, an executive order President Obama signed today in Washington. The executive action directs the Department of Education and other federal agencies to look for ways to help with loan repayments. One proposal would focus on lenders to provide better customer service and create more repayment options.
Well, it's an agreement you have probably been eating a lot. That is, if you enjoy those famous powdered donuts made by Dunkin' Donuts. It's called titanium dioxide. It's been the key to Dunkin' Donuts' bright white powdered sugar until now. The popular donut chain has decided to remove this ingredient. The decision comes after pressure from the advocacy group As You Sow. The group says the chemical is not safe for human consumption and could cause DNA and damage to chromosomes when consumed. Titanium dioxide is also used in sunscreen and paint products.
Marriott International will become the first major hotel chain to accept Apple Pay at check-in. Starting this summer, Apple Pay will be accepted at some Ritz-Carltons, Courtyards, Residence Inns, and Marriott's Edition brands, mostly in major cities like New York, LA, and Chicago. Apple Pay was unveiled last fall and is available with the iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus. It will also work with the Apple Watch when that hits stores.
All right, and we will take a break and have more when we come right back. Well, it's your chance to see living history soaring through the skies. WTVM News Leader 9 giving away tickets to this year's Thunder in the Valley Air Show.
You'll have a chance to catch the high-flying acrobatic stunts as we give away tickets every day through next Friday, March 13th. The air show is Saturday and Sunday, March 21st and 22nd.
And the air show features World War II era aircraft, jet-powered vehicles, historic displays, and lots of excitement. To enter our contest, text CONTEST to 40909. Viewers can enter once a day only, and 2 winners will be selected daily. WTVM will be there, so stop by and say hello.
Very nice. It's always great to see all those planes up there and all the excitement.
Yeah, and always great for folks to come by and say hello to us. That's always a good thing, too.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for the news at 5. We'll, of course, back with more headlines coming up at 6.
And it is 5:30 is up in just 2 minutes. Updates anytime. WTVM.com. See you in 2.